What's really good, y'all? I've kind of been going through it, and due to the changes in my life, I've kind of had to focus on different aspects of it, so I haven't really been able to post that much, and I apologize for that. Still, I know the last thing that we posted on was on housing market stuff, but I want to do a quick little thing that's been playing out in the retail sector over the past couple of years, because we haven't talked about stocks in a minute. You're watching Sekider, and today we're talking about the contrasting strategies of Lotte Himart and E-Mart. Now before we continue, we'd just like to remind you that this channel is meant for general education purposes only and isn't meant to replace the legal or financial advice from a paid professional. When it comes to investments, it's always healthy to take everything with a fair bit of skepticism regardless of the source, and that includes us. So for that reason, nothing we say here should be taken as a basis for investment, and you'll have to do your own work and thinking before deciding whether taking up a position on any stock mentioned here is in your best interest. Want to know how? Well, if you scroll down a tiny bit and hit the like and subscribe buttons, we'll do our best to help you figure out how to figure out this game for yourself. And with that being said, let's get to it. Alright, so for transparency, I am invested in E-Mart. It's like a 10k position or something like that, but it's a decent amount that's worth noting so that you guys know that I do have a little bit of bias going forward. Still, I do want to tell you a little bit about the story of E-Mart in the past few years. Now, as we've covered in previous videos, E-Mart went on the offensive over the course of the pandemic, choosing to use the low interest rates and surge in liquidity to expand their businesses through M&As, mergers and acquisitions. This expansion saw them acquire a majority stake in Starbucks Korea, which they already had managerial rights over anyways, and they added to that with an 80% acquisition of eBay Korea and their subsidiaries. The most notable subsidiaries are Gmarket, IAC, aka Internet Auction Company who runs auction.com, and G9. Now additionally, E-Mart put a lot of money into expanding their E-Mart 24 Pyeongjam chain, while also revamping a lot of the existing offline stores to drive hypermarket sales. Thus, E-Mart's strategy was aggressive in expansion in both online and offline spaces. I will add that this is a strategy that many other companies took during the pandemic, as low interest rates and liquidity booms gave Korean firms a little incentive, and this is reflected in a record year of M&As over the course of 2021, with 939 mergers and acquisitions worth about $49 billion or 58 trillion won when considering the costs together. Now, while everyone was taking advantage of the liquidity, bucking the trend was Lotte Mart CEO Kang Sung-hyun, who decided to take the time not to expand but to enact some internal restructuring to help reduce their losses and improve sales. Some actions taken by the young CEO's admin included closing stores and providing voluntary retirement packages that saw about 25% of eligible workers apply for early retirement. All the expansion that they did was internal, and that included the development of mega large shopping centers Zetaplex, discount alcohol and wine store Bottle Bunker, and the bulk sale warehouse type Lotte Mart Max stores. Now the point of the Lotte Max stores was to give Lotte Group an ability to compete with E-Mart traders and Costco, though they're differentiating themselves through the use of mini bulk, which is like more geared towards a family of 4 as opposed to just stocking up very large amounts for the long term. Additionally, in the pre-pandemic time, Lotte Group shifted their strategy away from offline to online shopping through their development of the Lotte On platform, after having fallen behind Shinsuke's SSG.com, which is actually owned by E-Mart. Now, the development and opening of Lotte Group's theme park and shopping district in Kijang notwithstanding, they've been relatively tentative in their corporate expansion over the past couple of years, which has allowed them more liquidity currently, while competitors serve their debt set from their aggressive M&A strategies over the pandemic. This likely proved helpful in their acquisition of Ministop in January of this year, which is a helpful win over E-Mart, who beat them last year in the bidding for eBay Korea. Now, with all this being said, it's very clear that the two rival firms took very different approaches in the last couple of years, with one looking outwards and one inwards. Furthermore, while it may be a bit early to evaluate the outcome of E-Mart's corporate expansion and Lotte's timidity on that front, let's do it anyways. So as we noted, E-Mart's biggest moves over the past 2 years were their acquisition of Starbucks Korea, as well as their majority acquisition of eBay Korea, which made them majority owners of the latter and brought them to second place in the market share for online retailers. A year and a half later, these acquisitions have been disappointing, to say the least. For one, Starbucks Korea had a little trouble in the second quarter of this year, facing a scandal regarding the use of cancer-causing chemicals in their giveaway bags over the summer. The handling of that and a couple other missteps has led to a change in CEO in the past week, with Shinsegae Inc. CEO Son Jong-hyun taking the reins. Additionally, inflationary and supply chain woes has made the profitability of the coffee chain drop, while integration of the online companies associated with eBay Korea and E-Mart's SSG.com, as well as E-Mart Mall platforms, has yet to bear any real fruit. For that reason, the company dropped into a loss in OP for the second quarter of this year. Over that same time, however, E-Mart and SSG.com launched their online integrated membership with Gmarket, which has yet to bear any tangible numbers. Thus, the price boom we saw during E-Mart's acquisitions last year has dropped over 50% as the costliness of integrating companies, inflation, and a generally negative economic environment have all compounded to really weigh down E-Mart's overall performance. Comparatively, it appears as if Lotte Mart's strategy has had its desired effect as their sales increased 1.2% year over year, while their operating losses decreased as well. Additionally, their company was able to convert a number of existing properties into Max stores across the country, pushing visibility for the brand. One really dope move that I think that they pulled was to focus a lot of their Max branches in the Jeolla and South Gyeongsang region, where competition in bulk stores like Traders and Costco is virtually non-existent. This is a standard but savvy arbitrage move that is likely to see the company expand to 20 Max branches by the end of next year, and they're also actively transferring all the online divisions of their organizations, like their department store, their marts, and Lobes, to their e-commerce division. So we can expect to see a little more efficiency in that sense as well. Naturally, if we're considering bottom line earnings, Lotte Mart's decision to focus on internal improvement has shown greater growth in profits than E-Mart's M&A strategy, which turned to a loss in the second quarter. As noted, E-Mart has only recently begun fully integrating their acquisition of eBay at the start of the year, and the changes to long-term profitability still have yet to play out. But we really don't have to go through that waiting game with Lotte Mart or Lotte Shopping because we're already seeing their strategy pan out. As for the third quarter this year, it looks as if Lotte Shopping, which includes both Lotte Department Store and Lotte Mart in their fold, is looking at a massive increase in their OP, driven mostly by Lotte Department Store's performance. On the Mart front, however, they're looking at an increase of just over 52% in operating profit compared to Q3 2021, as last year's governance integration is beginning to show its true effectiveness. Similarly, Emart, who posted a loss in the second quarter, which I've said a bunch of times already, is expected to recover their bottom line as their subsidiaries also improve. Now, while sales have continued to see growth over the course of the year, costs have, as we all know, increased. Still, we expect the recovery to come as a result of the firm's shift away from top line to bottom line growth, just as Lotte Mart had done over the pandemic. The two companies have had very different strategies over the past couple of years, and Lotte Mart's strategy has effectively pulled them from the brink to a place of predictable profitability in the near future. Comparatively, Emart's M&A expansion may have brought them up to second place in the e-commerce market by size, but they've taken hits to their profitability as their reorganization and integration have been sluggish in their race against the effects of inflation and interest rate increases. In my opinion, Lotte Mart has done an excellent job of restructuring their operations and fixing the inefficiencies that had been dragging them down for half a decade, and they've really improved their profitability and competitiveness. The financial outcomes of these adjustments are playing out now after only 2 years of work, which is a beautiful thing to see. After their M&As, Emart is still in the thick of things when it comes to reorganizing their operations, seeking out and eliminating efficiencies, and really getting their bottom line back up. It's really too early to draw any conclusions about the acquisitions given the short time frame. I'm personally bullish on it, but that's just my own read. And with all that said, that's it for me. I hope this was helpful to those interested in the hypermarket shopping center. Please remember that Lotte Mart is a subsidiary of Lotte Shopping, who is also responsible for Lotte Department Store, so if you're encouraged by their work and you are looking to buy into the stock, you need to make sure that you also look into Lotte Department Store as well. Look at their overall operations, not just the Mart sector, before drawing any conclusions about whether or not to get in. In any case, I hope y'all are healthy. We're in the holiday season right now, so have a good one. Peace.